Hey sis, welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited to be in your ear today. I'm chatting with you about the 51% rule. If you struggle with overthinking and constantly overanalyzing your choices, your decision making, and you just wonder if you will ever escape the nonsense, then today I want you to listen in because it is so important when we're looking for certainty in life, in the moment, we start with how we're making our own personal decisions. And that goes for recovery, but also just for every other thing in your life. We are making a ton of decisions on the daily, and we can sit in analysis paralysis, we can sit in self-sabotage, and we can sit in perfection. And so if you've questioned, what do I need to eat next? When can I eat next? What can I have next? And you're struggling with that in your mind, part of this is just a tactic that the eating disorder is doing to get you confused and caught off guard. But I'm gonna help you make better decisions today. Tune into this one, friend. Here we go. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsay Nickel, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess trapped in a destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom, and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it so you can start living your best life as your best self. Before I get into the 51% rule that is truly going to help you as you lean into doing the next right recovered thing and really taking that action, I wanted to share with you the devotional that I read today in my journal because it just sent a fire under my spirit. And so I wanted to bless you with it too. Purpose is such a powerful force. Discovering your purpose is more about realignment than it is about achievement or attainment of something new. Our purpose is what we've been created to do. That is good works in which God has prepared us in advance to do. So often, you're looking outside of yourself for clues about who you're supposed to be or who you could be. This is entirely flawed. You are a workmanship. You are created in His image and for His purpose. And your identity is found in your design. It's not about passion. It's not what you choose to do. It's about permission. It's about surrendering to what you were born to do. You've already been prepared to do it. You have everything that you need. Sure, you're going to need refinement. You're going to need stewardship. But you have a unique blueprint for your life that was predispositioned in you before you were born. Purpose is not just a fancy way of finding your passion. It's the process of entering His plan for your life. And it's about discovering your divine assignment and fulfilling that mission. Here's the thing. Stepping into what God has for you will always require you to believe bigger. To believe bigger means to believe beyond who you think you are. And it requires that you be willing to see yourself as gifted and limitless and impactful. God neither consults your past nor your resume when He maps out your future. And He isn't confined to your passions. These are the things you've learned to do. These are the things you've formed. But in order to create a new level of impact and meaning, you're going to need to be willing to embrace your true identity. How you see yourself will determine what you see for yourself. Wow, wow, wow. So many times, sis, you sit in your past, the ups and the downs, and those are the things that are possibly blocking you right now from believing your potential, believing that life is more than this. And the reason why this is linked so directly to decision making and taking action is because when we don't believe we deserve something, or we don't believe that it's for us, or we don't believe that we can do something and it seems impossible, we actually block our own potential. Okay, let's get started with talking about the 51% rule that I personally think is going to totally change your life. So what is the 51% rule? Beautifully straightforward. You don't need to be 100% about any decision that you ever make. You just need to be 51% sure, just slightly more convinced that it's the right choice than not. This simple principle acknowledges that having total or full certainty is super rare, and waiting for the answer or to feel confident is what is keeping you from living. Recovery, or even beginning the idea that you know that you need support and help, can feel like a hazy fog. Ask me how I know. But the voice can be so loud, and often, friend, it's going to get louder, which means that even making those small daily decisions for you right now are probably feeling super overwhelming. This is why I love the 51% rule. The eating disorder voice is going to demand 100% certainty. I mean, hello, doesn't the world know that we are queen of perfection? The reality is this is creating paralysis. Recovery doesn't require perfect confidence. It just requires the next step. But sis, God can't bless actions that you don't take. And if you're struggling with taking actions that you know in your heart partially you should be taking, stepping into your life's purpose and your assignment for your life, it's going to require you to begin walking. And that just means that you can leverage this 51% rule to get you up and walking, to get you stepping. How can you apply this? Okay. Number one, I want you to acknowledge uncertainty. This feeling is normal. You're going to feel uncertain. You're about to do something super brave, and that can be super scary. It doesn't mean you're a failure for not knowing what to do next, not knowing what to eat next, not knowing what your body needs. You don't need to know all the answers, okay? That is not the assignment. The assignment is just to go. Number two, listen to your recovery voice, your true self, your authentic best self. What would your recovered self do? Like, how would she approach this decision? What decision aligns with where you're headed next and your goals? And what would your support system, your accountability, or your circle advise you to do? And if you do not have a strong circle that is helping you with your recovery, I highly recommend it. You cannot do this alone, girl, okay? So if you are looking for a free support system, you can join us on Facebook at herbestselfsociety.com. And if you are looking for personalized support, you can go out right now and fill out a client application, and we can begin partnering together, like tomorrow. But I want you to be asking yourself, what would my best self be doing in this situation? And what would Lindsay say? Like, what would Lindsay want me to do? I tell my clients that all the time. If you're not going to grant yourself permission, take mine. Number three, and how to apply the 51% rule, is to make the 51% choice now. We're not delaying. We're making that choice now. We're deciding now, not later. So if your recovery voice is slightly louder than your eating disorder voice, lean into that and trust that 51% certain can be enough to move forward. I'm going to give you a couple of scenarios of how you can apply this in your life. Maybe you don't feel 100% ready for the snack. You're 51% convinced that having it actually supports your health. That's enough to take action, sis. We don't have to sit and analyze and try to figure it out. We're just going to take action. What's in the pantry? Let's go. Here's another example for you. If you don't know if coaching could help you, but you've been thinking about it off and on, and you listen to the show and you're like, maybe she could help me, but I'm just not sure. I've been dealing with this for a really long time. That's my specialty. If you're not sure, maybe you're leaning towards even the idea, that's 51% sure, okay? That's saying I would potentially benefit from this more than I wouldn't. Sis, that's enough to take action. We don't need to sit around overanalyzing, overthinking, and avoiding making any decision because we're afraid to make the wrong one. Here's another scenario. If you're like, I don't know if I'm ready to go out to the Mexican restaurant with my friends this weekend to celebrate my colleague's promotion, but a small part of you knows that isolation isn't going to serve your recovery. You know you want to be getting yourself out there. That small part of you, sis, is 51%. That's enough to say yes. Here is where the good stuff comes in. Your power and consistency, it accumulates with every 51% decision that you make. Each time you make a 51% decision in favor of your recovery, this is what you're doing. You're building evidence in your brain that you can trust yourself. You're strengthening your true voice, your recovery voice. It's just getting louder, which is diminishing the eating disorder voice, because she's over here going, okay, you're no longer listening to me. And you're like, I know, because now I know all these great things and I can make a decision without sitting in indecision, because you're trying to keep me discouraged, confused, and chained. You're creating momentum for healing that is going to bring about lasting transformation. We're not talking about putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. And you're practicing flexibility over perfectionism. You can be queen flexibility. You can be queen spontaneity. You do not need to be queen perfection. This is what the 51% rule helps support. So when you still aren't sure, let's say, okay, I can do the 51% rule. I'm starting to understand how I can leverage this. But let's say you still aren't sure and the percentage is really close and you're trying to make a decision. I want you to celebrate making the decision regardless of the action. I want you to focus on the process of just deciding over what the actual result is. Okay, this is a step in the right direction. You're going to use each choice as an experiment and a learning opportunity. This is just an experiment. Recovery isn't about being 100%, girl. It's not about knowing with certainty that you're going to arrive to the other side. It's about being brave enough to choose you. Your recovery and your future you is 151% decision at a time. And I want you to remember before I leave you today that you don't need to be completely sure. You just need to be sure enough. This week, here's your assignment. Try noticing opportunities to apply the 51% rule. And when you're faced with a decision, I want you to ask yourself, am I 51% convinced that this supports the direction that I want to be living? Am I 51% convinced that this supports my recovery? If yes, step forward with action. It can be messy, it can be sloppy, it can be, I don't know, action, but I want you doing, because God can't bless actions that you don't take. So stepping into your life's purpose and stepping into your calling and your future and your best version of you, it's gonna require that you make decisions and that you act on them. So if you've been struggling with this, I want you to apply the 51% rule. And I'd love to hear about your thoughts on this episode. Come on out to our community, herbestselfsociety.com, and join us in our upcoming masterclass. It's completely free. You can register for the November the 13th masterclass at herbestself.co/masterclass. I cannot wait to love on you there. Share this with a friend in the meantime. I'm so happy to have you here listening to the show, and I will talk to you real soon. Have a fantastic weekend. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show, and I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.